I'm Myra.
And I'm Tressa. We are fancy marketing people with Union, a Wyoming-based telecommunication company. Yes, Wyoming really does exist. We proudly serve the Rocky Mountain region.
On this podcast, we will feature businesses, organizations, nonprofits, and influential people from Utah, Colorado, and Wyoming.
Our mission is to highlight those who inspire their communities daily.
We believe this makes us truly authentic because a journey of 1,000 miles always begins with a single step.
Hey, Myra.
Hey, Tressa.
How are you?
Good. I don't know why I giggle at the beginning of every
am I
episode.
just so funny that
that
my hello is like...
It just sends me next level that I have to giggle a little bit to get it out.
You should be a comedian, huh?
I think so.
Just say hello and make people laugh.
That's it. Yeah. You'd win.
I'd win.
Your whole stand-up set would just be hello.
Hello.
For an hour on repeat. Quick buck,
Yeah.
You're all about
sure
being an entrepreneur.
I love it.
That's a new adventure.
A new adventure. Yeah.
Forget healing and helping people.
And helping people. Yeah. I'll just go.
You're just going to make people laugh.
Yeah. I mean, that's
healing. Also therapeutic.
That's very therapeutic.
Yeah.
Laughing is good.
Yeah.
So how was your weekend?
It was good. Part of my Olympic sport superpower is extreme nesting, where I just remodel my whole house every time I'm expecting a child. Like, I don't know, I did a whole bathroom demo, reno, supplied by Ace Hardware. Now I've also kept Ace Hardware in business again for my my bookshelves. Yeah, we buy local. We do.
That's a good
It's
thing.
really expensive sometimes. Sorry. But you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute here. But yeah, no, we do. We do. And we're really grateful though to have, this is just a natural progression, but really, honestly, we are grateful to have a local hardware store because one, I prefer my paint coming from Ace. I love the Benjamin Moore paint. Mm-hmm. I hate all the other paint. So I frequent that a lot. And then, we built our shelves and got our wood and our supplies and our trim. And we did it all on a holiday weekend and didn't have to worry about
going anywhere.
Yeah.
All your supplies. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Well, good.
Thanks.
Good job. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks. So yes. So now I have a library and, all good things.
Good things. Yeah. I don't love to paint, but I'm grateful for Ace also. We've had several times we've had our water heater go out or whatever, and we can run down and get one locally, right, to fix it. And then we remodeled, was it last summer, year before?
Yeah, I think it's last.
Yeah.
Not this past.
We did buy all of our paint and everything from Ace. I reluctantly helped.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't know why. I just have never enjoyed painting.
I don't love it. So like my hands are already swelling like naturally also, and I'm sitting there with the brush like ready to pry it open, and Blake's over here like, man, this paint job's really good. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm just over here like about to go into labor, like rolling and squatting and jumping up and down. And yeah, it was a lot. So I'm like,
so is your nesting done? Is the remodeling done?
Yeah, but now it's
do the kitchen next.
No, shoot, I wish. If they had quartz countertops, we'd probably be doing it next week. But no, my next phase is the extreme sport of throwing everything away.
Oh, I've been doing that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Nola went somewhere and a lot of things are gone from her room that she doesn't know. So this will start happening. Blake's clothes will disappear. My clothes, the dog stuff, the dogs, the husband, everybody will just start disappearing. Yeah, that's my next phase is just, trash bags, throwing everything away.
Yeah, I went through, I have 2 dressers because I like clothes, but I went through one whole dresser and cleaned out, I think 2 trash bags full of stuff that I hadn't used in years. It was very therapeutic.
I love it. It's so interesting because I think I have this is part of my trauma, those in listener land. I hold sentimental value in objects. Mm-hmm. And I think it's because I didn't grow up with a ton of things or the things that I am grateful for what I had, but working hard and earning money and buying the things I want is something that I used to envy as a child, and now as an adult, I can do those things. And my life's very, very different than what my life was growing up. And I have more, I'm very lucky and I'm blessed and, all those good things. So I think I hold sentimental value on objects. And it's like, oh, I worked really hard and I bought this. Can I throw it away? Or what is, I'm starting to break free from that. And I think part of that is clearing it out. Like, why did I buy it in the first place?
Yeah.
Can this be donated? Is this really necessary? And so it's changing my habits now. Like, I don't need to buy all these things to fulfill a need that doesn't exist, really.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So getting rid of the old and bringing in new things that are only useful.
Yeah, that you really, I agree with that. I could see that.
Yeah.
I think, I didn't have a lot growing up either. It was always tight. Money was always tight. So I think sometimes that's why I hold on to things. I've gotten a lot better. My husband used to call me a hoarder, and he can't do that anymore. But this dresser was like that, right? It was kind of a symbol of that. Like, I didn't need a lot of these things. They weren't donatable. They were old, you know? And so just it felt good to be able to release that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I'm here with you. Yeah. I'm with you. It's nice because then you're clearing out energy to welcome in new things,
new stuff,
welcome in the good. So I think, I know there's a lot of scientific things behind nesting, but I think like a therapeutic healing side of it is you're clearing out the space to welcome the new. I mean, like birds, they go and bring in all these things and they get it all ready, and I'm just a bird, I guess.
Here you are.
So here I am.
Myra the bird.
I'm the bird. But so today on our episode, we have Bruce Benedict with Benedict Trading Company. Hello, Bruce.
Hi, Bruce.
Hi, guys. Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, welcome. We're glad that you haven't ran away yet.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good for 15 more minutes.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah. We know where you live. We can easily find you.
Sure. I live at Ace.
Yeah, I know. We know exactly where to go.
Hey, guess what? So do I.
Yep.
Do you want to just kind of tell us about your family legacy and how they got in? They started originally with a grocery store, right?
Yeah, our grandfather moved here in probably 1936 or so, and he fell in love with my grandmother, who was raised in an agriculture environment, and he went to work for his uncle, who was named Harry Ackerman. The grocery store business in that time was called Ackerman Trading, which he had ran it for. He'd owned it. Uncle Harry owned it, I believe, about 10 or 15 years prior to Grandpa. And in 1938, Uncle Harry decided it was time for him to retire, and he gave Grandpa the opportunity to buy the business at that time. And 86 years later, here we are. We're third generation with some fourth generation children working in the businesses. And third generation owners. Our parents both ran it and owned it so that my grandparents could retire, and we're just going down that same avenue with the future, hopefully.
That's great. I didn't realize there was fourth generation already. Time flies.
Yeah. That's really cool. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
either.
fourth generation would be if we added Harry in there as an uncle, as family. But Benedict's wise, it's 3 generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And you're doing well in the third generation.
We're very fortunate. We're fortunate to be in a community that supports us well, and are appreciative of having the things that we've tried to maintain and create. The original footprint of the grocery store was a 10-foot wide building with 20-foot tall walls and a ladder that went on rollers, and you went up and down the ladder and slid the thing to the rollers and traded a can of pork and beans for a dozen eggs when the chickens had their eggs. And we still have the original books and documents that they used to do the trading for food. People would trade for milk from their milk cow for bread or whatever it may be. But it's quite interesting to go back to 1938 and look at the data that the recording of the paperwork that they have from keeping track of all that. So to to where we are today. Now everything's computerized and it's much, much more simple to operate.
Yeah, that's so crazy because, you just installed self-checkout. Was it last year that you guys,
last year, self-checkout. And I was reluctant with that. We did that. My brother, he pretty much stays at the grocery store side of it now that we have 2 buildings, and he was pretty adamant about it. That was the way of the trend of the industry and everywhere else you go. I was a little more apprehensive, but the first day we did self-checkout, we did 700 transactions through self-checkout.
Wow!
So obviously there was need in our community for people.
Mad.
Yeah, no, they want that option in that format. Not so much in the hardware industry. It's still more of a hands-on customer interaction need there, just because of the different needs.
Yeah. So talking about the grocery store side, for those in listener land who are not familiar with rural communities, really rural communities, we're about how far from another grocery store?
35 miles.
Okay. So, and then you add in bad weather. Mm-hmm. Winters are hard, real hard. Or you just add in panic or scarcity, or I need an item right now, the luxuries of this. So thinking about all of those things, living here in a community like this, the convenience of having a store locally. I mean, now we have cars. Back then, everybody wasn't driving around,
Sure.
when the need was originally being fulfilled. But could you talk about like how that's drove the family or the company to continue to have the grocery store here, or to bring a grocery store to the community, and the expansion and growth of it?
Well, Benedict Trading has seen the need through time to, our philosophy has always been give back to the community that supports and gives to you. Whether you do that through donations, whether you do that through supporting children, whatever it may be, but there's also always been a need to give the people the opportunity that they could get in another atmosphere. Say 35 miles away, they can go to a Walmart or a Smith's, which we know we have to compete with. So in order to be competitive and provide the customer what they need, we have to provide a similar format or try to be a better format, but still maintain that hometown want, need, convenience. But at the end of the day, in the grocery industry, pricing, we're very fortunate to have a wholesaler that keeps us competitive to be able to provide that. But our family's always believed in putting back in, and we've done remodels about every 10 to 15 years through time. And I think that's been a great benefit to keeping a fresh look grocery store for our community. As the communities grow, the grocery store needed to grow. We need more room. We need more stuff. We need to provide that atmosphere that they see other places.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Your store's beautiful. The last remodel was wonderful. You talked about like how important it is to connect to communities, and you guys do a lot in the community. Do you have any like strategies that you use to connect to the local residents here?
I think the biggest thing is, our family's been here for so long that we know a lot of people in the community, and it's a great community. We're, like I say, we're blessed. But the biggest strategy is just trying to seek out those things that are needing help. It's hard to split up a pie too many directions, but you just try to do everything you can to do that. We used to go, I mean, if a kid was doing something on an individual basis, we would try to help any way we can, which we still do. But as communities grown, we've had to look at organizations or school functions or clubs or whatever it may be to try and spread those dollars further, throughout the community. But, just trying to be a part of it and being a good ear in the community. You can hear a lot if you just listen. And sometimes you hear things that people need that they don't ever think you're going to be able to help them. But just by listening,
Yeah, so true.
Yeah, I love that. I think one that's very relatable to what happens here at Union, being a similar type of organization and trying to invest back into our communities. And how do you reach the masses without being so individual, but also still making an individual difference? There's ways to navigate that. And so I love that wisdom and the thought process there. I think so too. Talking about investing in our communities and investing, a grocery store is a business, but at the end of the day, this is best business that you could invest in for a community, because the needs are there, the wants are there. Without it, people would feel it. For those out there, I mean, I go to Benedict's just for my lunch. The deli supplies the community in other ways than just a normal deli would, in my opinion. Like, I grew up in a community where there are grocery stores on every corner, and I was able to just go get wedges for dinner, because I really wanted wedges and I didn't want to cook a lot. Now I might be busy at work and I can walk over. I can go and grab food. There's a lot of high school students that come. They come eat lunch. So, I mean, it's not just adults. I mean, it's others ranging in different age. And so just to have that we don't have a lot of restaurants. And so having that as another option, I think makes a huge difference too in the community, because, I'm not only buying my groceries to make a dinner later. I might also come in and grab something for breakfast, or I might want to come grab some bomb chicken tenders because they're really good. Or when I was addicted to orange chicken. Yeah. I went there almost every day. Like, it was a little obsessive, and
she had to have an intervention.
Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad, y'all.
It is good.
It was good. Yeah. So just that alone, I think, is such a huge thing for our community, because we don't, like I said, we don't have a ton of restaurants. And it's really difficult for a lot of businesses to flourish in a rural community. And so having that as another option, I think, is really incredible.
Sure. Well, and that was kind of, as Tressa mentioned, we went through a remodel about 3 years ago, coming on 4. But during that remodel, we were just doing updating grocery. We were trying to make things better for everybody, more variety, more everything. And in the middle of that process, unfortunately, our community started to realize that they were going to lose a business that was very appreciated in the community and needed in the community. But under the circumstances, they ended up closing on a national level. But it created an opportunity in our business as well, and in our community, and we seen the opportunity and was able to then split up our hardware and our grocery, which used to all be in the one building, expand that out, and keep a fairly large building in our community from being dark, and then went ahead and went forward with the Ace Hardware, which has been a home run for our community tremendously, as well as us. It's been a great investment and a great opportunity. But to see those things and be able to have the ability, because your community has supported you, and then turn and give back and say, hey, we need a bigger hardware store. We need more hardware in our community. And I can't tell you how many times since we've done that, the appreciation. And at that time, there was concern in the community too as to whether there would be a place for pharmaceuticals, because at that time that business was the only place for pharmacy in our community. And so we were able to partner and do some space for another company to come in and lease that space to put in a pharmacy, because there was so much uncertainty as to whether there would even be one. But all of that's just part of looking into it, and I thank my grandfather and my grandmother and my parents, and I got to say Union Telephone's Howard Woody for inspiring us as young men, my brother and I especially, in the absence of our family members, to see those things and see those needs, and give back to your community through providing them more and better opportunities.
Yeah, I know. I, for one, Bruce is referring to, we had a Shopco here, and they nationally went out of business, right? And that's where our pharmacy was. I was worried because, we get prescriptions monthly. Do I have to drive to Evanston now to get that, right? But also that building, once we found out that you were putting in an ACE there, I was really appreciative that this fairly large, substantial part of our community was going to be filled with something. So it was really beautiful to see that growth for you guys. And all the things. I love patio furniture, so yeah, I'm always in there for that too. But
yeah,
all the additional things that came with that, right? Not just the hardware, but the additional stuff. Mm-hmm. You can go buy a barbecuer down there if you need one, or me and my patio furniture addiction. Solar lights. I love solar lights.
I'm there buying bird feeders. So I mean, yeah. What is this life? I don't know what age
it's called the helpful place.
No, yeah, I know. It is.
It's a dangerous place. The helpful place. Yeah, I don't know. Like I was talking about earlier in the episode, I mean, here's an example. My heater went out and we got the part we needed, but they gave us, I am not a electrical person here, but the sister, they gave us 2 sisters to connect the wires, and we needed a brother or something. I don't know. I don't like that. That's a little weird, but hey, you know what I'm talking about, people.
Isn't it called male and female?
Oh, maybe that is.
I think that's what you're looking for.
Wow,
Sorry.
I went really dark. Anywho, we had the female part. We needed the male part.
Sure.
Or we just needed something to connect the wires, for example. It's been like 11 degrees here.
Yeah.
And I have a wood stove and I have a gas fire. So, I mean, we've been okay. But just knowing that we had the part and then my husband could go somewhere within 5 minutes, pick up my daughter across the street, run over and grab the part and come home, and we had heat last night. That's a huge, I'm using the word blessings, but really though, I mean, I took this stuff for granted when I lived in a larger community, and the community I lived in really isn't that large, but we just had more things that were easily accessible to us in a driving distance. So I don't know what my life would be like not having an Ace Hardware here, or having a grocery store, or having pharmacy, because we are normal people. Us people in rural communities are like everybody else, and we have needs and wants, and we have things that we want to do. And the conveniences that the Benedict company has provided for this community is beyond anything that I could ever ask for. I mean, I could take a mall, but I don't need it. My wallet doesn't need a mall, but I just it's fun. Like some Saturdays we just go down and hang out at Ace for a minute. Or like I said, Blake's a frequent flyer. And one day they told him, they're like, man, I think you work here, because he was there so much. But what's so cool, it's not even the fact that we have these facilities and the resources here in our community. It's the friendliness of the staff. It's the friendliness of you and Jim. I know Blake, you've helped Blake before, and you just walk over and you see someone standing there and you're like, hey, what part do you need? Or do you need this bit or this screw? I don't know. And you're able to help guide them, that it feels like a community. So it's not like, here's this place I go to. So you keep the hometown feel, even though it's at a national scale.
Mm-hmm. And that's very important. And we've always felt that, when I see people visiting in the store, or, blocking aisles, just having a visitor or whatever, I look at it and I just smile, because it tells me it's a comfortable environment. Whereas you see some people going into a grocery store or a hardware store, it's hustle and bustle, and nobody speaks to anybody, nobody knows anybody. That's one of the great things of our community, that we're able to have that one-on-one with most of our customers and do that. As you were saying that, the Benedict family has provided those things. I want to rephrase that a little bit. The only way or reason that we've been able to provide that is because of community support. And I know people get it told to them often, you need to support small businesses and yada, yada, yada. But, and that's not what I'm trying to say, but there's a product of your support. That's the willingness and our ability to be able to grow to our community's needs because of support from the community. Dollars that are spent in your community typically get reinvested in your community. So community support for small businesses, we've got to take care of our own. And, we're very, very fortunate like I said, with Associated Foods on the grocery side. Whereas when we did shift over and take over the new format for the hardware store, we was able to get with Ace, which is a national and international company, currently pushing 5,500 stores.
Oh, wow.
But they have a program for rural setting, and their program, amazingly, for rural setting is no different than it is for urban big city communities. But they have a value for customer service, and so it was a perfect fit for us to partner up with them as our wholesaler and our business side. But the community, the community deserves what has happened, and we're just fortunate that we've been able to do it with their support.
I hear what you're saying about like the community. The community has to support your business in order for you to be successful and allow these things for us. Same thing with Union Telephone, right? Any of these smaller businesses or local businesses in the state, it is important that we try to support each other. But also, like, you're providing employment opportunities, right? And career opportunities for people. How many people between the two businesses do you guys employ?
We average, depending on time of year, but pretty consistent, pushing 80.
That's a lot.
Between the two buildings.
Wow, that's a lot. That really is a lot.
I would have never guessed that.
I just think Jamie works there.
Anywhere from,
Jamie, if you listen.
Anywhere from 70 to 85. It just depends on the time of year.
Wow.
Certain times we have to have more people.
So like seasonally, you have to like bulk up because you're going to be
summertime. We ramp up more. To believe it or not, a grocery store takes a lot of people to operate. All the prep, all the things, it's a very labor intensive environment. So, and Ace, we have about 15 over there typically. So that kind of gives you a breakdown between the two stores. But yeah, that's a lot. And as you say, Union's always stepped up. And I mean, between us two, we're providing a lot of employment in the community.
Yeah, we really are.
I don't think people think about that sometimes. I
agree.
And I understand it. I get it. This isn't a call out on others, but it's when you're in your own sphere, you see what you want to see and you feel what you want to feel. But when you really take a step back and you look at our communities and you look at what these businesses are providing, forget the services. The services are necessities, but at the same time, you look at the employment, you look at the career growth. I'm here only because of this position that I'm in with Union. I would not live in this community otherwise. And so you bring in families, you bring in diversity, you bring in more people to continue to support other people. Like you can support the beauticians, you can support
the coffee shop.
The coffee shop, yeah. You can support the new salad place. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like these things can happen and people can be passionate and live where they want to live because of the core businesses that are providing employment and growth opportunities for people to move here. This is why our housing market is the way it is. This is why people still live in this place with the winter being the way it is, and it's good opportunities. It's not run of the mill. Like I know people personally who want to relocate here because they've seen the way my life has been changed and impacted by the services and the growth opportunities, by my job, by my life, by the culture that I'm in. And they're like, wow, I want to experience that. And who in the world would think I want to come live in this little town in Wyoming,
Sure. Well, and the value of the culture is, as you say, it's huge, to be able to live in this community and have the friendships in the community you can have, and we do have a lot of great small businesses. We do have a lot of people that have invested, whether it's a little, whether it's a lot, to create an environment of shopping or food or entertainment or whatever it may be in our community, and it is an important thing. Small business in small communities is a big part of Wyoming and the culture that we as Wyoming residents are used to, especially me. I've lived here all my life, but I don't understand anything different. I did leave for a while, and yeah, the city's great, but once you get back to that culture and those values, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think it's hard to beat. I agree with you. Visiting the city is perfect, but living there for me is not ideal.
Yeah. The best thing is seeing it in your rearview mirror.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I wanted so badly to not live in a rural community, and then we left for a little bit, and then I so badly tried to come back. So I know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, once you've experienced it, you kind of can't let it go, you know? I mean, I saw a little brother bicycling his siblings on a sled down my street. I mean, I looked and thought, am I watching a Hallmark movie? You know, you've been hit by somebody if you did that where I grew up, you know, like a car would have took you out. And here, yeah, it's a busy street, but they knew they were safe enough. They knew they were comfortable. And to see the joy and the pure, you don't get to see that, you know.
Nope, it's not everywhere for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're lucky.
Yeah.
Very lucky. Well, yeah, I think it's probably time to wrap up. We appreciate your time today, Bruce. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you maybe want to?
No, I appreciate the opportunity to share our story. It's pretty cool, and we're pretty proud of it, but we're blessed to be where we're at and blessed to be in the community we're doing it in. So thank you guys for having us, or me and Benedict Trading, as part of your podcast.
Yeah. Well, before you go, we've been asking everyone, how do you stay authentic? Wearing your ranching gear?
How do I stay authentic? I think I just try to stick to the values I was taught as a young person by the folks that kind of taught me everything I know. And I think authenticity makes you authentic. Sorry, can't speak.
You're good.
But that's how we've stayed authentic, and we've tried to just keep those core values and teach them and have our employees use those core values, and it just makes you what you are.
Awesome. Love it. Well, until next time.
Stay authentic.